Hey, I'm Mark Lambert here in the Sweet Swine of Mine Test Kitchen. We're bringing you one of my signature dishes that we've done for years and years and years. It's chicken in a nest. Now, there's a lot of different chicken recipes out there and chicken techniques, and I'm gonna tell you that technique is everything in cooking chicken. Whether you're cooking pieces, whether you're cooking whole birds or halves or thighs or legs for competition, technique is everything. And spatchcock to me is just one of those techniques that works better when cooking a whole bird. There are, of course, many different ways to part this out. But we're gonna cook spatchcock chicken, just meaning that it's flattened out. It makes it cook more evenly. We're not doing it for any other reason that this chicken cooks much more efficiently. The thighs and the breast all get done at a really normal rate and really gets done within about an hour. This is a small little Springer Mountain bird, about a 3.5 pound bird. And we're gonna take it, this is the breast side, we're gonna flip it over to the back side, and we have the tail facing us, and we have the neck facing you guys. So we're gonna take a good pair of kitchen shears, and we're just gonna start on one side of the tail, and we're gonna cut down one side all the way to that same side of the neck bone. And then we're just gonna come to the other side, and we're gonna remove this portion of the backbone and neck bone. And that is what's left. Again, you're gonna hear me say this once, you see me say it 1,000 times, don't throw this away. This is the best part of the chicken for stock. The little wingtips are great, but the pelvis and the backbone, this is all the best part for stock. So once you pull this open, some people like to remove the rib bones, and you can do that if you want. You can just come in here with your shears and remove the rib bones. You're not gonna eat that. Again, that makes for good stock, so why not go ahead and clip it off? You're just kind of cleaning this up and make it much easier to serve and eat when you're finished. That gives you direct access to all of that good meat that you're gonna serve. So just coming through here and clean up the top side of it. There's a little piece right there. You can feel that bone, that little piece right there, some bone. We're just cleaning this up. Now, this is our keel bone. We don't need to split it, do anything like that. Our pelvises, our thighs, our legs, and both sides of our breasts and our wings. So it's ready to go. This flattened out chicken just cooks a lot more evenly. We're gonna make sure that we keep it nice and dry. Dry our board before we flip. Flip this over. Make sure that it's nice and flat. If it's not, just press it down. Sometimes you'll have to pop that in the center to make sure it lays nice and flat. Take these little wing tips. You can do one or two things. You can tuck them up under themselves. This method, it's really not that big of a deal. If you want to tuck those under, typically I just lay them, for this method, I just lay them up there and I don't worry too much about it. It cooks beautiful like that, and it looks nice on the plate. But when we finish this, we're gonna make a wonderful, sort of a Mexican version of I'm gonna call it a Monterey white sauce instead of an Alabama white sauce. You'll see what I mean when we start putting our ingredients in there. So we've got a little bit of chipotle infused olive oil. We're just gonna go and we're gonna coat the top of this bird with a little olive oil. You can use whatever oil you like. This is just my favorite. We're cooking it so fast, it doesn't have time to get a lot of smoke in it. So this little bit of chipotle flavor really adds to the mix with me. We have our sweet rub of mine. This is one of our house rubs. It's roasted garlic. We originally developed it for brisket. It works great on fish and fowl because it doesn't have a high sugar content. Technique is everything. We talked about that. So in making sure when you're doing this, not just every rub works good for chicken, for high heat chicken. Chicken likes high heat. You ever had anything better than fried chicken? No, that's 350 degrees. We're cooking hot, hot, and fast. So you can't necessarily do that if you cook the whole bird or cooking around a beer can. It just doesn't cook evenly, it has to cook slower. But because of the technique, it allows us to cook at a super high temperature, render the fat out, get beautiful, tasty, crispy skin, and not burn the seasoning that's on the outside, and making sure the center of the breast and the thighs are done, along with the outside of the legs and the wings. So we're gonna go in here and give it a nice season, not heavy. It doesn't need a heavy season. Again, we're gonna finish this with a wonderful sauce and some beautiful rice. And we've got our chicken pretty well ready for the grill. What we're gonna do to finish it, guys, is we're gonna make our nest. We talked about the chicken in the nest. We're cooking in the red box smoker with B&B charcoal briquettes. You can use pretty much any type of B&B product that you want. We use briquettes because they're measurable. They're easy to determine our heat. Lump charcoal is bits and pieces, all different sizes. We don't exactly know how much of that lump it's gonna take to get the desired temperature. I like to start off at around 400 degrees. When I put my bird on near the top, it brings it down into that 375, 350 degree range with about 12 to 18 briquettes. Now, depending on the brand, B&B charcoal likes about 15 to 18 to get me that desired temperature, and it'll hold them for about 2 hours. So our charcoal's in the very bottom. We've got a little heat diffuser. That charcoal is coming direct up there. We wanna make sure that we've got a little bit of a barrier on this meat side of the chicken, so we're gonna use some fresh herbs. We're gonna make our chicken our nest. We're gonna make our nest for the bird, and we're gonna take some fresh garlic chives. We're gonna take some rosemary. Got a good amount of rosemary and thyme here. Make our beautiful nest. And just sort of arrange it about the size of that bird. We've got some wonderful fresh sage. These aromatics, you're gonna think, since you're just cooking a chicken on these, that it's really not doing anything. Maybe you should put it in the fire. Trust me, we do this on a regular basis, and it works super, super good. If you wanna throw some in the fire, by all means, it doesn't hurt a thing. It's quite, it just smells the place up really, really nice. So make our little nest, and we're gonna get our chicken, transfer to our nest. And I like to make sure that the ends of the legs have something under them for sure. It's just an extra little buffer to keep the ends of the legs protected. Now this chicken is gonna be cooking super fast. This little nest just really infuses some flavor up through the bird as it's cooking. And we're gonna use some of these charred herbs in our wonderful sauce when we finish this up with a little Mexican twist. Okay, we've got our chicken ready over here. You see it's got a beautiful color. It's got a nice crispy skin on it over here. We've got these charred herbs, and we got a lot of stuff. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about an Alabama white barbecue sauce. We're gonna do a Mexican white barbecue sauce. Just because I like to be different, because I like Mexican stuff, Mexican flavors, Mexican seasonings, but we're gonna have the same base. So good old white sauce starts with mayonnaise. And guys, this is something that is the base of this sauce is pretty much your mayonnaise, your sugar, your vinegar, your hot sauce, your seasonings, usually some type of acid, lemon, lime, it doesn't really matter. The base of it is not as important as what you like. Balance is everything in this. So you've got to have a little salt, and you got to have a little acid, you got to have a little sweet. And in this dish, you got to have some herbs. Mexican cooking is about simple techniques, fresh ingredients. So everything we've got here, we've got a lot of fresh ingredients. Rather than just pulling things out of the fridge, we've got a lot of fresh ingredients. They're gonna make a difference in how this dish tastes and how it looks. Mexican cooking is very simple, but because that's where all of our great produce is grown typically, everything is really vibrant and tasty and has lots of good color. And so you're gonna see a lot of that in the way it comes together. So the first thing is our mayo. I eyeball it, it's around a cup or so. And I'm gonna squeeze in a half a lime to start. Why? Because I don't cook this every day. I'm gonna kind of use, what I know about balance and flavor to put this together. This is a brand new dish. I've never made this before, but I guarantee you it's gonna come out great. I've made a lot of variations of this in the past. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bust a little of this garlic up. So we're gonna crush it a little bit, and we're gonna put a little fine dice on it. Okay, we've got our garlic in there. We've got some fine diced red onion. We've got some fresh San Marzano tomato. We've got some fresh, I believe that one is a combination of Serrano as well as Hatch chilies. We have, if you've never used Saison, this is a Goya product from Saison. It is has some achiote and some of the other salt, pepper, onion, garlic flavors that are fairly typical of Mexican cooking. And then make me a little spot here. And I'm gonna take some fresh chive. This is a garlic chive. We're gonna take some smoked jalapeno powder. We're gonna take some fresh herbs. I'm not gonna use much of this because I'm gonna use a little bit of the charred herb in there. These are aromatic herbs and some of the same ones that are in our roasting recipe. And some of our rub del norte that we used for our pork earlier. A little bit of white lightning. And then we're gonna come in with a little bit of cilantro or coriander. And we're gonna chop a little bit of this, as much or as little as you like. As coarse or as fine as you want it. All right, a little hot sauce, Tapatio, Valentina, Frank's, doesn't matter much. A little bit of sugar, we're gonna call that a good tablespoon of sugar, and then some for good measure. Apple cider vinegar, and we're gonna give this a shot and see what we got. As you can see, the Saison gives it a beautiful orange achiote hue to it. Achiote is, it's got some annatto and achiote in there. It gives it wonderful color, but also real relevant, flavorful Mexican. Let's give it a taste, y'all. See where we are. So, to me, it needs a little more rub del norte, and it needs, I'm gonna put a little bit of red wine vinegar. You can use apple cider straight if you want, and because I added that, I'm gonna add a little extra sugar. Balance. Taste as you go. Just because you have a recipe doesn't mean it's gonna come out exactly the same way. Every ingredient that you buy at the store, whether you buy it here or in Georgia or South Carolina or New York, those ingredients are different too, so you still have to taste it. Oh yeah, we're getting that tanginess, the sweetness, the aromatics are all coming out. And to me, I'm really not getting any cilantro, so I need a little more cilantro. I think that's a very vibrant Mexican flavor that everyone can relate to. It's in pico de gallo and salsa and tacos, and to me, it's gotta have a lot of cilantro. And it may need a little lime. We're gonna check it for acid. I really think it can use the rest of the lime. So, with the lime, a little bit of sugar, and we'll see. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere. Now, I think the more of these good fresh herbs, the tomato, it's just gonna add to the dish. I think this is gonna work. Wow, that is white Mexican salsa. This is amazing. You guys are gonna like it. So, we're gonna move into our chicken and we're gonna show you how to dress this chicken on the board. Okay, we got our chicken all done, ready to roll. Hey, what's cool about this Spatchcock chicken is that you can get about 163 degrees right there and 176 degrees right there all at the same time. You get this wonderful crust on the outside, a beautiful smoky color. What we're gonna do, we'll show you just an easy way to plate and serve this. We're gonna pick off some of these herbs off the bottom. We're gonna use a few of these in the finished dish. So you wanna pull some of these off. You don't want big bites of herbs. So pull off a few of those and transfer your chicken over your cutting board. And we're gonna use a few of those in just a moment. So to separate a spatchcock chicken, man, grab it by the leg. The easiest thing to just kind of, there's no bone left in there, so you can separate that very easily. Just cut through the skin. And we're gonna, let's see how we wanna do this. We'll do it like that. So we're gonna start here. And now our wings. Easiest way to separate the wing is just upside down and get into the bottom side. Is the best way to find that joint. You can see that joint is right there. So you cut straight through that joint. And there's our wing. Same thing on this side. We're gonna go down to where we can see that joint. All you gotta do is sometimes just give it a little turn. And we've got our chicken wing. And then all that's really left is our beautiful breast. So I'm gonna split this thing straight down the middle. There's our keel bone. We cut straight through it. And I've got these beautiful breast pieces. Look at that meat. Moist, juicy. You can leave that in there and you can cut through it and chop it up if you want. I'm gonna pull it off. Not a lot of my folks that I feed tend to like the bone in there as much. So all you gotta do really is just turn it around and just pull that keel bone right off of there. And on this side, there's just a piece of it left because we cut kind of down one side of it. We're just gonna peel those bones out of there. And I like the bones, so this part's for me. I'll leave that over there. Now there's a little wishbone in there that's sticking out. Pull that little guy out. Feel over here, make sure you get that little wishbone. Right there is the rest of that wishbone. And pull that out. And then you can come in here with your breast and make you some nice slices. This is what a lot of folks' favorite part is. And I've got my breast slices here. And here. Now, in order to portion this out so that it's more for everybody, we're just gonna separate the leg and the thigh right there. And we'll separate the leg and the thigh here. We're gonna kind of leave it intact. We'll separate the drummy and the flat on the wing. You can leave it all together if you want, but this just makes it easy for everyone to grab a small portion or a taste. And that's how we like to arrange it on the board. Now, we talked about some of these herbs. You don't want to overdo it, but a little bit of charred herb here, a tiny bit of rosemary, a little bit of sage, a little bit of thyme. It really brings a lot of flavor to the game. A little bit of sage. And we're just gonna chop this up. And we're gonna add it into our sauce. Give it a little mix. Make sure that we're containing here. And we've got this beautiful Mexican Salsa Blanca. Over a little bit of everything. You can garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And if you want to come in here, you can find some more of your herbs and garnish with a little bit of your herbs on the board if you want. You can get kind of tricky as you want to, but you don't have to do anything more than this. This is really, 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 really good. I can't wait to dig into this. So a little piece of rosemary. Just dress it up however you like. If you've got some peppers, you've got some herb, you've got anything left, some tomato, whatever you want to dress up your board with. That skin. The white meat's so juicy and moist. The skin's crispy. The skin is the star of the show here, guys. It's brown, it's got lots of smoky herbiness to it. It's a perfect accompaniment to this moist, juicy, tender chicken. So hope you guys like this variation of a white sauce roasted chicken in a nest of herbs.